He's a trillionaire, and they can't stand him. The millionaires of the world, the celebrities, the politicians, all wanting a piece of Elon Musk's money. Today, we'll tell you why he's conquering the media, and that's actually what has them steaming mad. They can't stand that Elon, the man, told Bob Iger, Disney's CEO, to go blank himself, and then quintupled his worth. They tried to destroy him. They tried to throw him under the Mickey Mouse bus, but Elon Musk was having none of that. Whatever you think of the man, he has led the charge, maybe saved free speech, and definitely is going to the stars. And now the stars of our world, the celebrities, the politicians, they're in a panic. They hate him, and they're raging. Today we'll show you the clips. We'll tell you what they think, and we'll dive deep into the deranged minds of those who are trying to get a hold of Elon Musk's great wealth as fast as they possibly can nestle it away from him. Well, Elon Musk is now a trillionaire, the first trillionaire in history, and the millionaires of the world, they're so sad, they're so angry, and some of them are the same celebrities that you know well. Manya Saini and Nikit Nishant from Reuters are writing this one. SpaceX IPO makes Elon Musk the world's first trillionaire. Do you all know about this? Few business leaders have been as deeply embedded in popular culture as Elon Musk, the ambitious entrepreneur who has become a central figure in internet culture and amassed a fortune that has made him the world's first trillionaire. At a time when concerns about inequality are high and public attitudes toward the ultra-wealthy have soured, Musk has managed to retain a loyal following despite his stratospheric net worth, and without the folksy persona that endeared other tycoons such as Warren Buffett to the masses. Now, folks, not everybody's happy, and politicians and celebrities, they're definitely in there. Wolfgang Richter, who is a leader in the EU, says Elon Musk has become a trillionaire. If we confiscated, boy, don't you love this, Lauren? Don't you love this, Andy, when the first thing they think is confiscation? If we confiscated just 15% of his wealth, we could clean up all the oceans. Sure you would. Eliminate poverty. Yeah, I bet you would. And literally make the world into a utopia. That's when you know they're creepy, when they think they could usher in the utopia. Instead, he chooses to indulge in his obsession with rockets and wants to build data centers in space. Because these people are ultra anti-future and anti-technology and anti-progress. You can't even move electricity from space to Earth. Dumbest idea ever. All the best. Wolfgang. All right, so they're talking about confiscation already. Elizabeth Warren says Elon Musk just became the world's first trillionaire. The typical American household should have to work more than 11 million years to make Elon Musk's level of wealth. Well, now, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Elon Musk built SpaceX, Tesla, XAI, and all of these companies that have this value, and that's why he is worth $1 trillion, because he built companies. His wealth is, well, it sits in these companies. It's not like he can just remove it. And I want to go back real quick to Wolfgang Richter saying this. If Elon Musk, if you confiscated 15% of his wealth, what you would actually have to do is confiscate his companies. Like, by force, you would have to say, well, we will now have 15% of SpaceX,
you know
which
what
is
they call that?
Company. What is that exactly, Lauren? Do you know that name?
I believe it starts with an F.
Oh, fascism. Jimmy Kimmel isn't happy that Elon Musk is a trillionaire, calls it unsettling. We can read it. Do we really want to read it? Okay, fine. We'll read it. Let's go down here what he said. Kimmel slammed the financial milestone. Of course he did, Kimmel. Well, his wife probably did it. He read the transcript. Elon Musk is expected to become the first ever trillionaire in the history of the world, Kimmel, who is a geezer, said. And what makes that even more unsettling is this man, our first trillionaire, the richest man in the world, is also one of the weirdest people we've ever seen on this planet. Boy, they're heavy hitters now. Here's Elizabeth Warren. Elon Musk just became the world's first trillionaire. This needs to be a wake-up call. Here's Elizabeth Warren, what she had to say. And I'm going to bring this home to entertainment, folks, because that's what we cover. I'm going to tell you why this has huge entertainment implications. Here's Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren.
Elon Musk is officially the world's first trillionaire. Think about that. We're living in a time when more and more people are just hanging on by their fingernails to survive in this economy. And Elon Musk has more money and more wealth than anyone in human history. I want to be clear. This is not just some fluke. It is a feature of a rigged economy.
Hey, before we go any further into this, Andy, how did Pocahontas become a millionaire?
Well, She started school by going and saying that she was an ethnic minority because she had high cheekbones, took advantage of grants that were put aside for Native Americans, which she wasn't one.
So
which means
she's not a Native American, Andy.
Which she probably took out of the hands of a legitimate Native American, which she probably never paid back. I think I saw a thing today where 50% of Congress are millionaires and 1% of the American public are millionaires. So how is it that they all tend to become millionaires when they go in making a salary of less than $200,000 a year? Like AOC, who is worth, what, $19 million or $29 million now?
And her career prior to Congress was a barista, is that right?
Yeah, bartender.
Bartender, not even barista, bartender, yeah.
And she still had to pay off her student loan debt, so it's probably worth even more. Now, the other thing she says that Elon Musk is worth more than anyone in history. Well, there's also more money in circulation now than there ever has been in human history. They don't understand anything about, like, it's not a zero-sum game. It's something that grows and you create wealth. They just confiscate wealth and they waste it. As Nick Shirley has pointed out, we know where it goes now, which all these places that do this fraud ends up doing kickbacks to one party in office, and which is very odd to me. Somebody put a thing out there, like, I'm not concerned about how a millionaire or a trillionaire made their money. I am concerned about how became that. But what about members of Congress and the government that become that rich? How did they get their money?
They're grifters, Andy. They're grifters and they're hyenas. And when somebody succeeds, what they say is, you didn't earn that, and we want it. That's what they say. So if you get a big house, even though they have a bigger house usually, because that's all they care about, they'll say, we want that now. That we'll take that, please. And they're just awful people. But celebrities are joining in with this, of course, and celebrities are awful people as well. Now, not everybody agrees with Elon, and not everybody likes Elon, but that's okay. Let's set that to the side for a moment. What Elon is doing with his companies is he's making a lot of other people very, very, very rich, because people who invested in these companies that are now succeeding, they're launching into millionaire status. So Elon Musk has probably made more people millionaires than any other person on the planet. Now, I want to go to a comedian, though, who has a lot to say about this. Probably one of our favorite comedians. He's at least up there with Norm Macdonald. Folks, here's the response back to Pocahontas. Would you look at that? It's Chatto.
I'm in a car. I just heard that Elon Musk became a trillionaire. That's crazy. His SpaceX company went public and it made Musk a trillionaire. I can't even comprehend what that means. It's so huge. I guess he can afford to eat out every day and not live with his parents. But what about me? What does it do for me? What kind of system would let someone work hard, take risks, build companies, and employ hundreds of thousands of people, and then reward them for their efforts? I'm not rewarded with $1 trillion for my efforts. I have a degree in feminist puppetry, and I only make minimum wage. Well, I used to make only minimum wage. I lost my job to an immigrant who gets their wages subsidized by the Canadian government. Sure, thousands of Musk's employees are now millionaires. But what about me? The Canadian government creates millionaires the old-fashioned way. Liberal Party corruption and overpaying for failed projects. Come to Canada, where entrepreneurial success is not tolerated.
He's too good at this. Really, I mean, he's too good at it. He's emulated him down. It's uncanny. It's just uncanny. All right. All kidding aside, and we love Paul. Can't wait to have Paul back on the show. Lauren, here's why they hate Elon. The celebrities, the politicians. Lauren, do you remember when, and we played this over and over and over, do you remember when Bob Iger, the former CEO of Disney, tried to destroy Elon by telling Elon, we're going to cut the advertising on X. The Disney company's going to do that. And all these companies followed suit. Do you remember that? You remember that?
I certainly remember Elon's response.
Yeah, Elon said, go blank yourself, Bob, if you're in the audience, right?
Yep.
Lauren, when Elon did that, Elon's net worth, I believe, was about $200 billion.
Yep.
As of recording, it's $1.3 trillion.
Yep.
They thought when he bought X, he was a crazy man and they could destroy him. And instead, Lauren, and this is where we get to entertainment, and people can have all kinds of opinions about Elon. Instead, it's the number one news app in the world. Governments are trying to shut it down because they hate free speech. Elon is bypassing that by sending these Starlink satellites into space, which will deliver internet anywhere, anytime, no matter, like, just bypass your laws and your sovereign rules. Everybody gets the internet from the United States through Starlink. And with this Colossus supercomputer and his AI, and now leasing the Colossus supercomputer to Anthropic, Elon is going to be the head of media. Like, flat out. People are going to be making all kinds of films and cartoons and movies using AI, and they're going to be posting on X via his satellites. And he's the only game in town on a lot of this stuff. Elon conquered the message, the media, saved free speech. Again, you can think he's weird. He probably is. That's okay. But Lauren, he beat them, and they can't stand it.
Well, yes, but the problem with Elon's empire is that it is entirely centered upon Elon, which makes him a single point of failure. Were something to happen to Elon, the companies would continue, but his genius would be lost. And
Is
that
that
is a
not the
problem.
same with Steve Jobs, though?
It is, but that is a problem. Have you seen Apple innovate since Steve Jobs passed away?
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I just think that Elon is the same as Steve Jobs. He's gonna run those companies until he doesn't run anymore.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is that there's more than one way to skin a cat. If you can't buy him, if you can't legislate against him, if you can't stop him, you can stop him, if you take my meaning.
We like Elon in the United States, and I don't recommend that Elon go a lot of places. And I recommend that Elon have great security, because we want Elon to be around as long as possible, right? And we don't wish violence on anybody whatsoever. But Andy, that's why they hate the trillionaire status. That, and the fact that these celebrities and these politicians, they're not happy with their millions. They're not happy so long as they're anywhere less than number one. It drives them crazy that anybody else defeated them and got to the trillion first. That's what they hate.
Especially because those people have actually built something. The Elon Musk of the world, even Jeff Bezos, as kind of kooky as he is with his exploding rockets and destroying Tolkien. He's actually created something. I mean, think about all the things that Amazon has done. I'm sure there's a lot less traffic on the roads because people get stuff delivered to their houses instead of driving to the stores themselves. Everybody I know uses Amazon on a pretty much regular basis, especially the women in my house.
But the weird thing about Amazon, Andy, the strange thing about Amazon is, and I'm not trying to put down Bezos. I'm really not. I mean, he is. There are so few people like him. But the thing about Amazon is, if Sears, Sears was doing what Amazon does. Sears has the catalog for 100 years. Sears they pulled a blockbuster, and that opened the door to Amazon to go from being a little online bookstore to dominating the market, because Sears said, well, we're not going to be online. We're not going to do that. And Amazon became the modern Sears. And that's a little different because I think Elon has stepped into completely new industries, and kind of,
yeah.
But I say that and that feels like I'm denigrating Bezos, and that's probably not good.
Well, Musk is definitely something unique. He's somebody who is, you can't dispute there's all kinds of disclaimers about it. Well, he wasn't that involved with this. He was only accidentally, whatever, he took government grants, whatever.
Yeah. You can believe that once or twice. On the 15th time, I'm over the accidents.
Yeah, he's an innovator. He thinks outside the box. He challenges things. I believe he's literally looking for solutions that could end this human species, taking it to the next step. Whereas a lot of people just want to hold us back down and put us back in the Stone Age with all these environmental protocols that they want to do that bankrupt everyone. Musk actually comes up with ideas and tries them out and makes them successful. And I think that's what they hate the most, is they hate to see someone who actually does the things that they can't do, because it makes them less special in their eyes, when they're really not special at all, because they don't do anything except. Elon Musk has paid more money to the American tax revenue than any other human being that's ever lived. And that's not enough for you? And what did he say to Bob?
Yeah, and well, go blank yourself, Bob. So Andy makes fantastic points. You make fantastic points. Lauren, I think also, now that I think about it, what I think drives them nuts, too, is he's figured out how to bypass them. They love controlling the narrative. They love controlling speech. They love censorship. Look at the UK. And he's found a way to deliver the internet free and open and fair to everybody all over the world. And I don't know, you were talking about security and deletion concerns. You know, he is going up against entire nations at this point. He has more power. Like, okay, think about that for a minute, Lauren. How many nations actually have more power than Elon as an individual who runs these companies now?
This is exactly why I was making the point that I was. I saw somebody in the chat who I think misunderstood what I was saying. I was not calling for violence against Musk. What I was saying is that that is a very serious concern, and that Elon is a unique kind of genius, something that is interesting. No matter what you think of Elon, if you think he's a weird guy or whatever, I would say, so what? There's lots of weird guys.
How'd you get to the top without being weird is what I would say.
But there seems to be a phenomenon that it's kind of like you think about in every colony of ants, there is a queen. You know, there is something that generates a queen for that colony. And when the queen is present, a pheromone is distributed that prevents any other queens from being generated. You have something that happens in the human population that it seems like once or twice every century, you get a unique kind of genius. You get, for instance, a Da Vinci or a Michelangelo or an Einstein or a Tesla or a Jobs, and now we have a Musk. There seems to be some individual in every era that pushes things forward to such a tremendous degree. Their brain works in a way that is completely unique. It allows them to bypass the normal timeline for progress, let's say. And so you have to be thankful for those individuals when they appear. My fear in the case of Musk is that he represents such a colossal threat to so many different powerful entities. It's really easy to think that this guy's figured out a way around them. It's like, there's been lots of times in the past when I have thought that was the case. It's like the internet is one of those phenomenons. There was a period in time when I thought there was no way that you would be able to subvert the way that the internet worked because of its distributed nature and DNS. And boy, did they figure out a way to get around that. The government simply, through various legislative means, essentially put taps at all of the major meet-me points for every ISP. They sniff and filter all of your traffic, every last bit of it, which at the time that we were discussing those kinds of things, I'm talking back during the Clinton administration when they were talking about Magic Lantern, thought it was a pipe dream. There's no way that will ever work. It's too big. Well, it turns out, no, it's not too big. You just have to apply pressure in the correct places. So that's why I would say he has a nice idea, but he has to find a way to protect it and to protect himself and to somehow put all of the work that is involved in making that happen beyond the reach of nations. And that I don't think is possible. So I am, as usual, I'm going to be the guy that is not as optimistic as you are, but I would much rather that you be correct.
Well, I just think, you know, Elon pretty much saved free speech. Pretty much did. I think that Elon pretty much saved AI from being a woke monstrosity through this Grokopedia and putting pressure. By the way, his play, I talked about this on the Patreon, his play to put Anthropic on Colossus 1 and 2 while he builds Colossus 3 for Grok, that is so genius. Because he hates ChatGPT because he feels it's woke. And Anthropic, the only thing holding them back was they were starved for computation. And he put that thing on Colossus 1-2. He released that. And they released Mythos and Fable. The U.S. government had to shut it down. And it'll be back. The power, what we were watching that was crazy was, once Anthropic had access to the world's most powerful supercomputer under Elon, It was building N64 level games in an hour on single prompts. And that begs the question, how many prompts and how many hours would it take for it to build like, full-blown PlayStation 5, Xbox, games and Nintendo Switch 2 games, etc. What's on the horizon with Elon is, I think, incredible. And they can't stop him through any legitimate means anymore. I think they're either going to do something vicious, and we pray every day that doesn't happen, or the sky is the limit at this point. Fair?
I'll just say again, my fear is that he's a single point of failure. I agree with you that putting those models on a Colossus gives him a control.
Yep.
But what happens when he is not in control? Eventually, he will not be in control, and somebody else will be. And will that person have the foresight, the knowledge, and the ethics necessary to maintain containment?
Not if it's Pocahontas. Not if it's Pocahontas, Lauren. Well, it's been a good time. It's been a great time, folks. It's been a groovy time, even. Keeping the Holly Weirds in line. We know them better than they know themselves. As we say goodbye, folks, please consider clicking that like button, drop a comment down below, and join the community dialogue today. And until the next time, we say it every time. Keep learning. Keep growing. And as always, keep having fun.